Okay, so this is a beginning video on bloodstain pattern analysis, and specifically I wanted to talk about, well, the differences in the arterial ones, which are spurt versus gush. Now, both result from a breached artery. That means if someone were to puncture your artery, then that would be the result. And the surroundings, what it would look like, would look much like either a spurt or a gush, and it would show all over. So over here, I will write both. And for both, it's breached artery. And the ejections of blood can come from the flow of the veins, which would be under pressure. Now the veins impact this. The veins make it more complicated and display different ejections of blood that will come out. But basically that's not important for now. All we need to know is our differences. And gushes are typically large volume, and the variations are less distinct now. We can't exactly see the differences because it's the large amount of blood loss. And then also, the gush has very large primary stains, numerous satellite stains, and spine stains. Now, the satellite stains and spine stains I will discuss at a different time. But something important, in flight, as in running, there are unstable masses of blood loss. This is because the large volume loss from the arterial gush. Now, the real difference is the function of the force. Function of force. Now, the analyst can't really tell the function of force right off the bat, and that makes it more difficult to even be determined. And if the analyst cannot determine, then it's somewhat okay to keep them in the same category, because we all know that it's going to be arterial. We just don't know whether it's a large amount of blood loss or such like that. But moreover, I talked about the gushes long enough, so I will start with the spurts. Now, the spurts are small volume, and sometimes are even called splash as well. And basically, the spurts will result in more of an up and down kind of trail of blood on its surroundings, and more of a zigzag pattern as well, which will show the fall of pressure, which will lead to the reconstruction of the crime scene that we can do. And our family over here, we have to say family that this belongs to. We're looking at the family of bloodstains. And then we're looking at non-spatter. These don't exactly spatter all over the place. And irregular margin, because these don't follow the exact regular pattern that a normal blood spatter would follow. Now, the spurt is more distinct because of the small amounts of volume. Now, with these, it's already basically been covered. All that we really need to know is that it's a breached artery, hence the name arterial blood spatter stain. And with this, we can tell if an artery has been breached. Now, given a crime of someone putting a knife to someone's artery and slashing it or punctuating it, the arterial structure would just burst. So what would happen was we would get arterial blood spatter. And that's what we would get, hence why we call it arterial. And it's up to us to determine if it's gush or spurt or even splash. And basically gush is one of the easiest ones to determine on the entire general topic here, because gush is the larger volume. So we can tell based on the amount of blood lost if it's gush or spurt. But spurt is a little more difficult to identify, and even then it's difficult to determine which is which. But that's actually not exactly too important. It just shows us the distinctive patterns that it will follow and the distinctive pressure applied to the artery or even vein that will cause these blood ejections. So basically, even with gushes, it just becomes the large volume loss and large elliptical spatter. There's going to be a large like this. We'll put this over here. It's not going to be like a single dot like this, but it's going to be a large amount of blood loss over here. Whereas maybe spurt will be like, here we have rectangular cabinet, and it'll be like maybe zigzag from here up to here, or go down, or even up and down. Now, I did not show a good representation of the gush. The gush is more like what a spatter on the ground or even on surfaces, which shows like different spatters coming from the primary spatters, which will be discussed later on. And then you might have like random satellite over here and such on the floor. But if it's a lot of blood loss, then we know for a fact that over here is going to be the gush, and over here will be the spurt. So typically using the spurt over here, we can tell where the direction would come from. So basically what's happening here is it's going from the right to left, which means that this is the way that pressure is going, and this is the way we're going to find where the blood came from, and we can reconstruct the crime scene based on that. So basically, this just showed the difference between gush and spurt arterial blood spatter. If you have any questions, just ask.